the beginning.
A brand new start.
This summer. The movie you'll never forget.
Two men must paint to survive.
And occasionally they'll break for mochi and kisses.
Total Party
Paint.
Welcome to our show, where we're going to just talk and stuff. What are we going to do on the show?
Well, as the title suggests, we're going to paint. We're going to talk about
total target.
We've nailed this so far.
Okay. Welcome to our new show, Total Party Paint. Okay.
Total Party
Do we want
Paint.
to link it up? I
know, I like it that it's kind of disjointed.
Cool. So we're going to do some arts and crafts, talk tabletop role-playing games. My name is Freedom Scheid, Thunder Wizard 10 on Instagram. I am a small business TTRPG terrain creator. Also a forever DM. This is my good friend over here.
My name is Connor Nolan. I'm a professional illustrator working a lot of the time within the tabletop sphere space. And Freedom's also my DM, and I'm an avid D&D player and love making stuff that's both art and then usable within a tabletop game setting. So happy to be here and talk about this thing that we both are passionate about and might have one or two things to say, but also it's like could be a space where we sort of experiment and I don't know, just
we'll probably offer tips. We'll also, have some other more exciting things coming along probably in the next few episodes that is in the works, but that's something that we could talk about maybe a little later.
There's a couple of other co-stars in this room that you might hear from time to time. What about the animals in this room right now?
Mushu, why don't you hop on Pop? Come on. You can do it. There we go. Wow, that was very agile.
Oh, and Peanut's coming too.
We have a Mushu. He's a good boy. And then we got a tiny little Peanut, who's also here. And you might hear birds occasionally.
There's birds.
We have several birds in this house too. All right. So,
what are we working on today? You have something fun and exciting in front of you. It's a great sculpt that I believe you sculpted yourself. Is this true?
No, I just printed this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I bought
That's
this from a third-party modeler.
Blew it. Yeah.
Modeler.
What I meant to say is you printed this.
And this, you'll probably be seeing the finished product at some point during the stream. I think, depending on what the workload's like, maybe I'll edit it. Some nice lazy Susan action.
Oh wow, that'd be cool if that actually was a feature. Because what is Beholder? Their whole thing is they can shoot different type of energy out of the eye appendages, right?
They can shoot different energy out of the eye appendages, but mechanically, I think if it could swivel like that, its center eye has that anti-magic field where it just, and
Or is it a cone or is it a sphere?
It's a cone. It's a big ass cone too.
That's a D&D question for you. Is it a cone or sphere effect?
Tell us.
Tell us what your favorite cone effect is.
Tell us what you think. Is it a cone? Is it a radius sphere?
It definitely is a cone.
And if you comment on the Twitch stream that this is on right now, we won't do anything.
Also, I will say, if you look at a beholder, I know you can't see this, but if you were to look at this,
Maybe here or like over here on screen, it'll be.
yeah, you'll see a close up version, and maybe we'll edit in a picture of Mike Wazowski and his Medusa lover from Monsters Incorporated. I just made the realization that it is canon that this is their love child.
It's 100% canon.
Mr. D&D wrote that himself in his final will.
Yep, and they were like, Mr. D&D, we gotta listen to you.
We gotta.
Gary Gygax.
You made the game. What can we say? We gotta listen to you.
But yeah, you want to hand me that glue there? I'm just gonna put this shit together. I don't know if I have it in me to enter. Oh, it's a brushed glue. Oh, this might be the superior glue.
It is actually very good. I used a little bit of it earlier, and it does the job. What's weird is that you think there's a ton of liquid in there, but there's not, and I would think that there was more. You ever get this stuff all over your hands before?
All the time. And whenever I use glue, it's almost like there's almost something wrong if like I don't get glue on my fingers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I avidly try to avoid getting glue on my fingers, and it's just like see.
I think at this point you just enjoy it. You do it for because you've built it into your routine now.
To get it, I want it a little higher. Maybe we'll see.
Can you take me higher?
Interestingly enough, there's actually this band that I used to listen to. They're called Three, yeah. And
wait, what were they called?
They're literally called Three.
Three. I said Creed.
Oh no, not Creed. Three. This band Three that I used to listen to. They had their lead guitarist, and this is a little tangential. They had their frontman rather. He played an acoustic guitar while everyone else played like progressive hard rock metal instruments. He played an acoustic guitar and he played flamenco guitar, and he played a show at this venue that I kind of volunteered at. He used to crazy glue his fingers before every show, so that way he wouldn't strip his nails and fingers.
What was the three for? There's three members of the band?
No, there's six.
All right.
Yeah. No, I don't know what
Artists,
three.
huh?
I couldn't tell you. Great band. They're not around anymore, but
Great musician, but can't count. There's 6 members. Have to call it that. All right, so you're gonna paint that.
I might paint it, but I also have a bunch of other terrain pieces that I got to get through. So I might just I might do a bunch of those and then reward myself with a little bit of painting on this beholder.
Let me ask you, DM, is having terrain totally necessary in order to enjoy D&D?
You know what?
This bird's got a lot to say.
This might sound like I'm betraying myself as a business owner who specifically produces terrain. I'm going to say you don't need it.
I believe there's probably very few wrong ways to play D&D, but D&D can be theater of the mind as well.
Yep, that's how I learned.
Yeah,
I learned before D&D Beyond. I learned before all the crazy explosion of D&D. Yeah. And I don't want to sound like a hipster or say it, or anything. But I played before it was cool.
Whoa! You heard it here first.
No.
But when I think about it, old school style, I think about people drawing maps on grid paper, using just pencil and paper, really old school. Maybe you draw it out. Terrain is sort of a new thing, and it's sort of, to be honest, to me, it feels like almost something like wargaming or even Warhammer 40K or something, sort of made minis cool, and D&D then being its sort of weird cousin was yeah.
I wish I had a device here to look it up. Oh wait, right in front of me. Let's see. Let's look this up. When did they start? What was the first?
Well, actually, now that I think about it, I think about those really old D&D minis that are really heavy metal, made by I'm gonna forget the name, Raytheon or something.
Well, if you think about it, the first 3D modeling stuff comes from like grandpas who like to make trains in their basement.
I know. I really feel as though you take any grandpa who likes making trains and sets in their basement, and you'd be like, "Hey, let me show you Warhammer 40K." They're gonna lose their fucking mind. Like they're gonna be like, "This is the dopest shit ever," and I'm gonna make
nuts. Yeah. No, I mean,
right?
I feel like they have, like, I mean, in Game of Thrones, they had those like the kings used to love their like war tables where they'd like position people.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
There's this super awesome photo. He was one of the generals. He was like the general that Darth Vader was answering to in the old movies, Star Wars movies. He was real
was
like
it Moff Tarkin?
Yeah,
the Godface, Grand Moff Tarkin.
Right? Yeah. I forget that name. The actor's
He's kind of got
name.
like that like wide like alien.
His head's kind of the shape of a bicycle seat.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about him is that there's this photo of him in like Wargaming Monthly, some monthly publication that was put out. It was probably some English company, and he was an avid wargamer, so he built little French soldiers and Napoleon's whole army and all this. And there's a great, oh man, imagine playing him in like Warhammer 40K. He's just
I feel like I'd
his
be
arms,
at a disadvantage just because I'd be intimidated that it's Grand Moff Tarkin.
I know. He'd be so cunning and ruthless and cutthroat. It'd be brilliant. All right. We came here for one purpose, to educate the masses.
Okay.
And paint some stuff.
So, how about this?
Do we have a theme for today?
What?
Is there a theme today?
I mean, I guess it's just like new beginnings. We're just kind of getting this off the ground. So, no theme. Just, I'm just going to be painting some walls here. Maybe, do you have any tips that you'd want to offer anyone? Like anything particularly important towards what you're working on right now?
Well, let's see here. Tips. You don't need to spend a lot of money to make fun things. Sometimes it's as easy as going to your recycling bin or just walking the street and seeing what trash is sort of piled up and interesting looking. Games Workshop does not own your debit card. You can make something out of nothing if you start looking hard enough. I brought a bunch of examples of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say you make a lot of awesome stuff out of garbage.
And I'd be happy to do a little tour of some of this stuff. Does that seem interesting to you?
Before we do that, is there anything else that you're working on?
Yes.
Because I know you have a very I'd say prolific.
Wow.
I say that, but that's because your shit speaks to me on a personal level, But
thank you.
You have a pretty awesome catalog. Is the correct word? Is that the
sure.
word? Catalog? You don't have a gallery. I guess you have a virtual gallery.
Yeah.
Your Instagram is awesome. But yeah, is there anything you're working on?
Yeah, right now I'm working on a new upcoming tabletop role playing game that's kind of. It's an interesting concept for a game because it's really not competitive as much as it's sort of a game to help you world build or character create. There's all these different chapters on if you're in, say, like you have your very typical fantasy setting, and if you want to sort of outfit this world with different ideas, it makes that very accessible to you. And we have like a whole chapter on fantasy taverns. We have something about if you're playing within a noir detective setting or zombies or mutants, that kind of thing. And I'm doing art for all of it, most of it, who knows, but it was a successful Kickstarter. Now we're sort of in full-blown art production phase, and it's a lot of fun. It keeps life interesting, but so that's what I'm working on right now. But yeah, it's sort of a field that I've found a nice foothold in, and I keep on getting people blowing up my invoice, wanting to work with me, and feel very privileged. But anyways, so I have a studio at home that I work out of, meaning that I have, a table's worth or more amount of space that I can sort of dedicate to making stuff. And some of the stuff that I do make really kind of starts in the trash. And I don't mean that like sarcastically. A lot of this stuff I find on the street. And
I don't want to implicate you,
please,
in any trespassing crimes, but you found some cool stuff at construction sites, right?
The amount of bodies I've needed to step over to make these arts and crafts happen. No regrets. But so actually, it's funny that you bring up a construction site, because when I was my last apartment was near some construction happening, and a bunch of insulation foam had broken off and sort of blown into our yard, and it was just going to be litter unless someone did something with it. And I ended up taking a bunch and using it to sculpt some stuff, and that sort of then turned me on to this whole world of making miniature terrain. And
yeah, you've got some dope stuff that we've used in our games.
Yeah, like this right here is supposed to be a bridge. It would be nice to use it sometime. That's sort of just the nature of the
I got
beast.
to use it in the Battle of Ironforge.
True.
You'll actually probably see some stuff from that game.
Legendary.
That was a whole experience, that game. But
this is construction foam, insulation foam, painted, carved with an X-Acto. I glued some sand from a dog park right here and painted that. Painted a little snowy by accident. It should be more sand, but who cares?
Stones could be different colors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So here was a really inspired thing. This is like a blood cauldron, and that's the bottom of packaging that baby tomatoes come in.
Yep.
Every once in a while, you get that little. It has like a clear kind of globe over it.
Don't forget to eat your
Turn
tomatoes.
it upside down, spray paint it gold, put some blood in it, like a resin. You got a blood cauldron. It looks spooky. It's on this platform that you can use. This platform, what you see those bricks are made out of. This is a very tedious way of making brick, but it gets this great stone effect. This is egg carton. You just save all your egg cartons and cut off the flat pieces and cut them into little rectangles, fit them together, paint them. You get a very realistic weathered stone look that can't be beat.
That is pretty sick.
Here's a whole bag. Look, this is how obsessive I am. This is a whole bag of egg cartons that I've cut up into little bricks, and then so if you'll permit me to keep on going.
Keep on, dude. You have tons of stuff. We used this in not the Battle of Ironforge, but in the battle against the fire giant when you first got to the city of Ironforge.
So I always imagine this being a forge or like a blacksmith or something, and all of this is just stuff I found on the street, or like this is the top of a Tropicana orange juice cap.
Big brain moves, guys.
I put some sparkly paper behind, like where the window is, to sort of give the feel of like movement and fire and heat in there. And then this little pipe is the inside of my dog's poop bag roll. That like when at the end of the roll, you'll end up yeah. And then there's a couple other examples, but this one's my pride and joy because I think about this one. I thought about this one a lot when I was making it. It's supposed to be like a tavern or just like a regular building. But the reason why I like it is because when I was making it, I was really trying to think of how a user might interact with it. So this is funny if you just open it up, which you can. I use it to store more buildings on the inside. You can see there's like
if you open the other buildings, you'll actually get smaller buildings, and eventually you'll get to the building blocks of life.
This is just a box that a present came in or something, or some shoes came in. And then I built something around that, and for people who may not be all that crafty or utilitarian or whatever. Just don't worry about making anything straight if you can just work off of a pre-existing box, because all the hard work is kind of done for you. All you have to do is decorate. But with this one specifically, I wanted to think about how players would interact with it, so I put a door in the front, a door in the back, and then I also put this little like lattice right here and this open window up here, thinking, if somebody wanted to like, break into here, there's sort of there's something already in motion that could allow for creative playability. Yeah, I like how this one turned out a lot. But also, just sort of always championing using trash. These are the insides of milk cartons. They make great pitched houses that are perfect scale for just, you make a dozen of these and just fill a table. You have a small village.
Which is what we did in the Battle of Iron Forge.
Exactly.
If you look right here, you'll see it. There's an image there in the future.
It hit me in the face when it came on the screen. Popsicle sticks. Yep. That kind of whole thing. And it's a blast and I love it. And since this is Total Party Paint, TPP for life, I brought something I'm going to work on, and it's the biggest building I've done yet. Biggest building I've done yet. And it's a little
sick.
It's a little silly actually how big it is.
It looks like, if I were to describe it, I imagine you could like dock an airship here.
That's a really cool idea. What I was going for was like magical school. And so when I built it, I'm not an architect, so I don't really know how to make a building, but like I wanted it to look large, so it would be a prominent feature on the map. But I did this funny thing where I had this space at the top right here, which doesn't really make any sense. It's a little awkward. It sort of just doesn't do anything. And I thought, well, because like so far you can't play inside of this, which would be super sweet, but sort of difficult to manage.
The goal is right.
I decided to turn this top area into like a training spot for
like the top of
somewhere you could land broomsticks or something.
Like the top of the Magic College in Skyrim.
Yes, exactly. And I did that by gluing a bunch of coffee stirrers together that I gradually stole from a coffee shop over many months. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. So
I'm working on
this building's gonna be sick. It may end up being used very soon. Who knows?
If it never gets used, whatever. The enjoyment came
when it's
from
finished.
Making it.
When it's finished, we'll show you on a Lazy Susan.
Ooh, I like that.
Lazy Susan. Or, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't stereotype Susan. Maybe Susan is a hard worker.
Yeah.
She ain't no slouch.
2024 Free Susan.
Free Susan. Hashtag Free Susan in the chat. So yes, your method is that's actually, kind of, I feel like, probably better for the environment. It's more creative, more involved. Yes, my method.
Yeah, talk about a little bit.
I have robots do my stuff for me.
Right, you're at the opposite end of this broad spectrum where you have precision printing methods, and this is sort of a new thing that you've gone into, but it seems like this is like your calling.
I've always been a gamer, you know what I mean? And once I started playing Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games, I got really immersed in, running the game and just making the game more immersive. I got immersed in immersiveness, if you will. And I, would draw crazy maps on like poster board, do it the old school way, and then eventually I started looking into 3D terrain. A lot of those like actual play streams like gave me inspiration. I mean, and I played Warhammer when I was a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, but I didn't play. I just kind of painted them.
Same here, actually. Yeah, I never played. I collected them just to paint them. I tried to, and then I was like, "There's too many rules."
I played Chaos Marines.
Oh, because they're super dope.
They are dope. I like them because they were dark and edgy. I'm a metalhead at heart, so like that edgy dark stuff is cool to me. You know, that's just it.
The phrase,
but yeah, and
the
so
phrase "I'm a metalhead at heart" sort of it's funny but confusing.
But yeah, so I was able to get my hands on a couple of pretty robust machines in terms of producing these things. Like just to give you a little glimpse, these are like some of the modular terrain walls, licensed by a company known as Printable Scenery. They are a really good 3D modeling designer, I guess. PrintableScenery.com. They have really good 3D models. I'm a licensed producer of those tiles and different buildings and stuff, and so that's sort of what I sell, and that's how I make shit. I also make the shit for myself because I play a lot of D&D. Okay.
So how many models do you think you have access to print?
Thousands.
Thousands, dude.
Yeah.
And what's the biggest thing you think you could print?
I've got a couple right over here. I'm gonna have to adventure across the way. You know what? Save it for next time. But I have a couple things. I have this one building that's like a tower that's like this big. I have a steamboat that's pretty big. Stuff that we'll be painting on here pretty soon. Let's see, what else? I don't know. There's a bunch of shit. I have a couple of like buildings. On this map of Ironforge, this map over here, you'll actually see several buildings that I printed and intermingled with several of the buildings that Connor over here had made from garbage.
Yes.
Who's to say that produce custom terrain and garbage can't live together in harmony?
It's true.
All that matters is that you tell a story that brings both you and your players joy.
Yes.
If you're a DM.
I have to soundproof this studio.
That's fine. I don't think if you can hear it.
No one cares.
The two pups are playing. They're having a grand old time. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. In the work zone. Auto zone.
Get in the zone. Auto zone.
It's a pretty good Transformers Megatron voice.
Wait. I got this. Hold it right there. That's my Stormtrooper voice.
Oh, pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It sounds really good in a microphone.
Kind of tinny.
Yeah. I've been running a Star Wars 5th edition game.
Oh, what's the story been on that one?
If you're one of my players in this game, don't listen, because there will be spoilers. So, essentially, they were on this moon near Anaxis, which secretly has crazy kyber deposit that the Empire wants their hands on, because the Empire, do what the Empire do.
Yeah.
And they just got on passage on the ship. The ship is called the Phantom. The whole idea is that...
Menace.
Yeah.
Nice.
The whole idea is that they're going to slowly realize what the Empire's doing with the Kyber. But I'm a little worried because everyone's playing like evil-leaning characters.
Okay, so that's okay though, right?
It's hilarious, actually.
Sith.
One guy's playing like an Inquisitor,
Yeah.
but he's like not like a high level Inquisitor. He's like a researcher for the Inquisitors. He's like a low level dork kind of dude. It's on the Star Wars 5e system. It's like a free system online. I don't know if they're still active, but there's a lot of like third party resources, which make it easy to play it.
And are you using sets and terrain for that?
I have like a couple of Stormtrooper minis, and like I have like some Papercraft minis that is like high tech, which is awesome. There's a couple of really awesome Papercraft companies out there. I don't know if I'm like legally allowed, or if we're legally allowed to give shout outs to stuff, but like
You can.
you can.
Yeah.
So I've used for a long time. One of the biggest steps in my downfall when it comes to the amount of money I spent on terrain is 1985 games. They make Dungeon Craft paper tiles, which are like dry erasable, and the stuff is awesome. It's
What is it?
It's Papercraft terrain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
It's just like you just cut it out of the sheet, and you just get like that buildings, and it's cool because it's got like the roof, and then when you flip it over, it's got the inside of the building.
Okay, cool. Dig it.
They also have like paths, trees, anything like that, so you kind of get a good like physical sense of where you are on the map.
And it's all paper. It's all
paper, yeah. So it's like super affordable and
Yeah,
accessible.
yeah.
It's like
That's been sort of accessibility has been your sort of whole goal for a while with this 3D printing thing.
That's what I want to create a world where everyone can make terrain in any way they want, or just art. I feel like people should just be able to make art whenever they want and not have to worry about it. That's my radical belief.
There's a
Radical.
There's a pretty cool. Oh shoot! There's a pretty cool. What would be considered a library near here? That's called PVD Things, and they rent out tools. And it's like, I think it's a free membership or it's very cheap membership, and you can go there and get any type of tool you need. Talking about accessibility, that's pretty accessible.
Yeah, that's what we need more of in the world. We need people to be able to get the things that they need in life.
Fund libraries.
And libraries.
And libraries, man.
Libraries are what's up. Go to your local library. There's actually a really cool app out there too where you can get like any audio book if you want. All you got to do is enter your library card. I don't know what the app is called.
Libby.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Libby.
Yeah, and so that way you don't have to like, spend a bunch of money on stuff you might not necessarily need, But yeah, I'm trying to with the company that I've created, I'm trying to price everything reasonably, so that way. No humping. Get off of Peanut. Come on, come here, Mushu. Crazy dog. Yes, dogs hump things sometimes.
True.
I hope that doesn't break Twitch's Twitch's.
Like, you cannot show that on here.
I believe it's out of frame because this is the line.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not.
I think it's just out of frame. Oh, someone's gonna want to come play. It's okay, Mushu. We'll play with you in a little bit. But yeah, accessibility, man. I want to make stuff reasonably priced, and also in a way that's like, super small packages so people can get started, and like super personable. So that way, if you have an idea and you want to email the company, and like we could work something out for you. I don't know. I don't know how you market stuff like that. Everything is so like, it's a specific product. You gotta like look like this. You gotta do this. And I'm just like trying to create a more collaborative experience than something that's like a shop with like these specific marketed, engineered products, perfect for your consumption. You know.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the stories that you guys want to tell, and like the dog's got zoomies again. So yeah, the dogs have redirected. They're playing tug of war at the rope, but we have a gym class hero over here.
Gym class hero.
I'm like, oh, I'll paint these big guys. These big tiles. Yep. I'm painting in order for a friend of mine who actually I play D&D with. She got a huge order, lots of tiles, because she delved into the world of dungeon mastering.
Ooh, fun. And I've never DM'd anything because it's a responsibility that I just when I play in D&D, it's a little bit of sort of not sort of how do I put this? It's like I like turning my brain off. I know this is silly, but I like to turn my brain off a little bit when I play D&D. I feel as to be a DM, you must need to be so mentally on, and that seems exhausting to me.
It can be. Which is why it's important to take your breaks. Don't forget, you're allowed to take up space in your life. Take whatever breaks you need, DMs. Take whatever breaks you need. If you need to stop for a week or two, take off. You deserve it. And if you ever feel bad or like feel insecure about, a game because you're exhausted, don't. Because at the end of the day, your players are there. They're there to have a good time. And, they'll tell you if they don't like something. I'd say, by and large.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I'll always have a player tell me if they didn't like the way an encounter went. They're like, oh, I didn't like
see.
this, or I didn't like the way this section went. It made me feel yucky, That's why I feel like consent's important with TTRPGs.
Has that happened in the past?
Yeah, for sure. Boundaries change depending on the person, and if there's like a couple people there who just like don't, vibe.
What's an example of something that might trigger somebody?
Well, I've had a game where someone played like a, not necessarily like sexual character in terms of, I'm gonna try and have sex with everything, you know what I mean? But they were like very much like flirtatious and like they'd make a lot of crude statements, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like particularly gross, just a little hypersexual in terms of presentation. I think it was leaning into like a fae kind of character.
Sure, but it's sort of like if not everybody is trying to make every scenario into a joke.
Yeah.
Then it sort of puts a halt to a lot of the progress.
Oh, for sure.
When you have to be like, no, we're not going to romance every single person in this game.
Yeah. And I don't even think that was the case for this one. But it someone was like, oh, it's I don't know, it was a little awkward, but eventually like I didn't even have to say anything because it was like one of the early sessions in a game.
Oh, okay.
So like
it worked itself out.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, I'm this boisterous character. This is who I am. Then, of course, like that's the thing that's on your mind. But then, as we got into like later sessions, it became more about the story and like the party and each other's history. You know what I mean? Because they were like a late join.
I see.
Favorite
D&D character you've ever played yourself?
I've got 4. I've got 100. No, I've got a bunch. I don't even know where to start.
At the beginning.
I like them all for different reasons. I could give you my first. How about that?
Let's hear about your thirst.
My first D&D character was a Oath of Ancients paladin.
Ooh, love it.
Who eventually multied into sorcerer.
Paladins are the shit.
I fucking love paladins. Paladin might be my favorite class.
Yeah.
His name was Solaro Dagon.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's a great
Oath
name.
of Ancients Paladin. And,
Solaro, huh?
Yeah, he was like a sun elf.
Sounds like the hottest new vaccine on the vaccine scene.
Is it an elf or is it a medicine?
Right. Oh, that's a great game.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I missed that guy a lot. He was the game kind of fell off, and I mean, it could pick up back one day. Who knows?
Who knows? I like to think that old D&D characters are sort of just waiting to rejoin the group. They're in the eternal tavern in the sky. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so I just glued a bunch of bricks to this. I know this is painting, but sort of we're using painting as a general crafting term. So I just glued a bunch of bricks to there. I left that space open because that's where a door is going to go. I'm not going to waste the bricks behind the door. And then when I'm done, I'm going to paint that all black and then do what you're doing, which is...
This is a technique referred to as dry brushing. It's where you take your paint, dip your brush in it, and then take just about all of that paint off the brush.
Yeah.
And what it does is it allows for example, I'm using this. This is a black tile, and in order to make the texture pop, the dry brush only grazes very little bit of paint over the top of the textured layers, kind of like allowing the light to pop on those.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the...
Well, it kind of highlights the high spots.
Yeah,
and, so where there's naturally light hitting it, you have the lightest tone, which is white, and where there's the least amount of light, which is inside these cracks between bricks, that kind of thing, it's still black because you're kind of skipping over it. The most successful dry brushing, I'd say, is going from just black and white, which is if you own sort of any two paints, own black and white, because you can do so much with just that.
Absolutely.
And it's sort of, I would say, like most things I make have an undercoat of black. If I don't paint them white, or if I don't use white, I almost always use black.
Yeah.
And what kind of paints are you using?
I'm just using a basic acrylic paint. I'm using like cheap acrylic paint. Just, because I use so much of it, and I don't really need, I have nice mini paints. I have like some Games Workshop stuff. I have some the army paints. I have some army paints, sure. And like some warlord stuff. I have some paints in this thing that are like almost, I want to say, 5 or 6 years old.
Yummy, chunky. That's how we like it.
Some of it's still good though. A lot of those Games Workshop paints and like the army paints aren't too clumpy yet, I will say.
No, it would take a while for them to show age.
But for like terrain and stuff like that, since I have to cover a large area, it doesn't make sense to use anything other than you go to Michael's and get like a big thing of like white paint for like $3.
You know what they call Michael's in Ireland?
What?
Michael's.
Michael's?
Michael's.
Michael's.
Hi. Hello, welcome to Michael's.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
That's accurate. Michael's.
Michael's. Michael's hobby store. I don't know, is Michael's a hobby store? Yeah, it must be,
It
right?
is a hobby store.
Yeah,
it's an arts
yeah.
and crafts kind of. I've got one for you. How many times have you drank the paint water? Oh, man.
A bunch of times. A bunch of times. More times than I care to admit. But, and this is legally binding.
How many times have you done it on purpose?
It's how I wake up in the morning. Some people do coffee. I like to do toxic water.
Toxic paint water.
Sludge. Legally binding that if we mistakenly drink the paint water on this show, we owe every viewer $5. Sign. That is legally binding.
I think in post I'm just gonna like signed in blood, just like lower the
just
lights
beat
and
that
like
all out.
drop your like voice like 3 octaves.
Signed.
Because why the hell not?
We have to pay every viewer. That we're just repeating. Every viewer gets $5 if we drink the paint water.
I mean, I'll cover the first one, that's for sure.
Just like our moms are gonna watch.
I don't even think my mom.
My mom wouldn't watch this. She wouldn't watch this.
I don't think my mom could watch it.
Yeah.
She like won't. She refuses to download apps into her phone.
I know one app she has on her phone.
Sick burn.
Just let that sort of ride.
I'm gonna wake up.
What did that even mean? What did I mean? Like it could have been any app, right?
Yeah, Facebook.
The Arby's app.
The Arby's rewards app.
But you, the viewer, went immediately to something sexual, didn't you?
I did, yes.
You fucking freak.
I'm that person in the party who picks out all the innuendos that the DM will say. I think maybe it's deserved that I became a forever DM because now people do it to me.
Yeah.
Dude, the power that is dry brushing, man.
I know. I mean, the Egyptians used it to build the pyramids. We do it now to honor them.
We can. This is one of my favorite wall pieces over here. It's not done yet. I have a lot of painting.
Oh, is it a little fireplace?
It's a little fireplace.
That's fun.
Well, like, look at it. Look, even look at the top.
Yeah.
The little top slot.
I'm a bit of a top slot.
Oh, nice.
Nice, dude.
Nice.
This week we're sponsored by. Give me somebody good to be sponsored by.
We're sponsored by Thunder Wizard Games and
Thunder
Mullet Illustration. Anyone who wants to sponsor us, you can email us at totalpartypaint@gmail.com.
Right, please. I've sold all my Bitcoin to fund this show. All my monkeys are gone.
All your bored apes.
All my bored apes, they're gone.
So is the value on them.
So is yeah, as if they ever had value. Well, I guess in the beginning they did, but who gave a shit?
They really like finessed everyone.
Oh yeah,
that was great. I was like, this seems like a scam.
Yeah, if any person with a brain, well, I don't want to insult anybody. I'll just drop it because I could go into it for a while.
They did it to themselves. Yeah, dude. I was like, how do you? No, that doesn't seem right. How do you like make only one of something on the internet? It just doesn't seem like.
How do you make only one of something?
Like the idea was that right? It was like a
secure
yeah thing that only you couldn't like recreate. But like, couldn't you just like screen grab it and then?
Also, it just had to be like the most like lame stuff ever. Just like a bunch of stupid images of poorly done monkeys, and people attributing any sort of value to it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at this currency. It's like, okay, NFTs, man. Anyway, so I'm starting this
that brings
this
us
NFT
to
project.
TTRPG.
Discord's in the chat. It's called Board. It's called Board Dude Project. Just kidding. I'm not bored. I find it quite serene to paint. Okay, now it is glued. I glued this at the beginning of the show and it didn't stick, so I re-glued it. And it's stuck.
Looks good.
Yeah. You know what they say, beauty is in the eye of a beholder.
Mike Wazowski and Medusa's love child.
Hi, Peanut. Do you want to come here?
What is okay, I'm gonna ask some just general D&D questions that I've always wondered about. What bard question mark?
Love Bard.
Why? But what is a bard? No, what is a bard? What's a bard really? What's a bard about? What's a bard
A
about?
bard is the beautiful thing about a bard is that it's like kind of like a jack of all trades kind of class. Like
Untrue. They cannot fight.
They can fight. College of Valor bard, man. What else can fight really well? College of Swords bard. Actually, my bard's up on that shelf if I'm not mistaken.
Which one?
Purple jacket. He's on the right, all the way on top of the carriage. If he's up there.
Going to the shelves of destiny.
Is he up there?
No, I don't see him anymore.
Oh, then he might be in the office right now. My College of Lore bard. His name was Scottish Gaelic for song singer.
Cute.
It's Orange Shenadier.
What is a Shenadier? What is that?
Song singer.
Okay.
Just literally Scottish Gaelic for song
Oh, I
singer.
see. Okay.
In terms of like name translation.
I see.
Yeah, he was just a dude who liked to play lute, and he would sing, and crazy magic would happen. He was a college educated, talented tactician, and it's funny because he didn't fall into the bard trope where he tried to have sex with everything. He was actually very much like trying to do right in the world, make a name for himself, and protect his friends.
Were you the guy who earlier you're telling the story
Ironically
about?
enough, I didn't play that character. He was more about the music. I play a lot of instruments, and I play in bands. I would take my acoustic guitar, and I would play songs.
You dabble.
Pop songs, or like rock songs, and then interpolate party members' names in there. Or sometimes I would like write my own little ditty. And then he actually got into a metal phase, believe it or not. He had tinkered for him a way to increase the volume of his instrument.
And how
it
does
was
that
a magic
happen?
item called the Implement of Intensify Arcane Amplification.
That's cool.
And it was just like a little, like, you know, the little Marshall belt
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
It was one of those.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So
you
I
go like, time to step up the volume.
Yeah, so what I would do is, like, instead of, like, playing acoustic, I switched over to electric with, like, a little pocket amp that I have, and I would just shred or, like, play breakdowns.
That's very cool. That's a fun character.
It was
But again, don't understand him personally. I don't know what you're going to do with Bard. I mean, I actually do know. I think Bards are the perfect vehicle for, like, what D&D is, you know, which is a lot of charisma. Like they're charismatic people. Their charisma is almost a weapon.
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
So, I think if you're the right type of D&D player, it's perfect.
I like bards. That was my second D&D character.
So we're working our way up to
What was your first D&D character?
Demon Bear, the barbarian dragonborn who praised the white dragon Shakamazan. He was a child of the frost. He had a best friend named Tom, who was a zombie head. Nah, I loved him.
He sounds pretty, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Brutal.
He sounds pretty tough.
Metal as fuck.
He sounds hard.
He was. But if you got to know him, he was a softie.
I feel like that's what happens to barbarians sometimes.
If you really kind of like... like, that quote I love from Shrek. It's like layers.
Ogres
Donkey.
are like onions.
So, yeah, Demon Bear was my first. And I still think about him all the time. In fact, the character I'm playing in Baldur's Gate, I modeled after Demon Bear. Sorry to bring that old chestnut up.
Oh, dude. I am apprehensive to ever start Baldur's Gate.
Because you'll never be the same.
Yeah, I just won't have any free time.
I
wouldn't have a company anymore.
That'll be the end of you.
I wouldn't be able to do this. I know it happened to me last time Skyrim came out.
Oh my god. Did you ever play Skyrim in the very beginning when it was super glitchy?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
Man, that was like the Wild West. No, it was a pain in the ass to play for a minute.
It was. I think mine wasn't so glitchy. I got it like maybe 6 months after its release. Because like I didn't have a console at the time, and then that Christmas I got a console. I had a console, but then like a teenager, you sell it, and then because you want to go do something, and then like someone like is like, hey, do you want to buy it? And I was like, yo, mom, someone's selling a console. It's Christmas. She's like, I got you.
Aw.
Ain't getting you anything else though, dog.
You're the man now, dog.
I'm like, alright, that's fine.
A new hand has touched the. What is that? What is the when you touch the orb or something in Skyrim? They
a new hand has touched the beacon.
The beacon, yes, thank you. I couldn't remember what that was. A new hand has touched the beacon.
Thousands of hours into Skyrim.
Deservedly, it's a great game.
It really fucking is.
But then I realized it's sort of the same thing over and over again, and I don't know.
So is life.
I replayed it recently for who knows how many times I've replayed it, but by the end of it, I was like, I don't know if I ever need to play this again. I think I'm good.
Have you ever modded the fuck out of it?
No, I wish I could.
Dude, before you hang up the
old Skyrim
jacket, yeah. Play a run through where you mod the fuck out of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, that sounds great.
First of all, you'll breathe through all of the main vanilla stuff. There's also lots of cool weapons. I've done playthroughs as a Jedi. I like it. There's like a spaceship mod where you can like make a crashed spaceship site.
Yeah.
And so like I put that there, and then like I made my character like a Jedi.
Oh my god.
And then I just like did all the quests as a Jedi.
Crash landed on a fantasy world. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, that was fun. And I made all the decisions.
You ever see the mod where you can just use straight up guns?
Yeah, that one. There's also like a martial arts mod. Which like throws some kicking.
If you're like an
mechanics
unarmed monk or whatever.
Yeah. That was a fun mod. Nexus mods, man, fucking awesome. There was also like a perk tree for hand-to-hand combat too that they included in it. There's like a whole perk tree overhaul. And then like some of my favorite mods, because like I played Skyrim on every difficulty. I didn't need to prove myself to the Skyrim nerds.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I did my time.
I did my time.
But I like getting those like vault mods, where like you just like.
What mod?
Like it's like a vault mod which has like fucking ridiculous amount of money and
okay. So you're being given new dungeons.
Yeah, you're set. You can get weapons. You can just like fucking do whatever you want. Those are fun. They have like pocket dimension mods where like you go there and there's like arenas where you can fight just random shit.
That's cool.
And they'll build in like uber powerful people, because like when you can mod your shit like that, you can get the Skyrim character up in level.
Oh, of course you can. Up. Yeah.
I've maxed out every single perk tree with the mod, just to see what it was like. I was God.
You tasted it for a while. You were like, this feels good.
Yeah.
This power.
There was one of the Star Wars Use the Force mods was like this mod called Force Enhancement. And you could run like triple your speed.
Okay.
In game, and then when you sprinted, it was even faster. and like you could jump from any height and you wouldn't die.
The
It was cool.
that doesn't ruin a game for me. I think that actually makes it better, right? Like,
Yeah, dude.
who cares?
Absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
who's going to be a referee and tell me that this is the wrong way to enjoy that game?
Nice
You
save.
see that save? Wasn't
That was
paying
clutch.
attention.
I'm just imagining a little umpire graphic. Safe. Mhm.
Oh, whoops.
Huh, so what you got? What you got left? What you got left?
Well, I'm gonna finish bricking up this brick wall.
Gonna get bricked up.
Bricked up. What does that refer to?
Boners.
Oh, really? Because
Yep.
it kind of sounds like you gotta poop and there's nowhere to poop, so your stomach kind of bricks up.
In my heyday, people used to say it was like brick outside, referring to a particularly low temperature.
Okay.
It's like, yo, it's dumb brick outside. Or
I've
it's
never heard
mad
that.
brick.
Wow, that must have been super local to you.
No, that's a pretty New Yorker.
Is it?
Like the people say it's like brick titties out. I've heard.
Wow, I've never heard that before.
That's a big New York one.
Oh gosh, well, where have I been?
Hmm.
Where have I been?
Guess not New York.
Not with the cool kids, apparently.
We're actually both from New York, different places in New York. And currently we're in Providence, so hello from Providence.
Hello from Providence, the smallest, strangest state.
It's kind of cool though.
It is kind of cool.
I've been loving it here.
Providence pride.
Hmm. You know, what does Providence stand for? It stands for like the actual word. I
Oh.
mean, like divinity, right?
Like divine providence, or am I thinking of the right thing? Yeah, I mean, the Providence definitely has like a meaning. It's party foul.
I know. I dropped it on the first drop. First drop. I've painted through a couple of these freaking tiles.
I know
I'd
you
say.
should show how much you've painted. You've done a lot.
I wish I could juggle more than 3 things, because then I could just juggle them and then you could see them in the air.
Yeah. I'd actually say it's pretty surprising you don't know how to juggle. I feel as though that would be something that was like if someone guessed, like if someone asked me, do you think Freedom can juggle? I would say probably yes.
Well, I'll have you know that you're correct. I can juggle, but I can only juggle 2 and 3.
Oh, well,
I can juggle 2
is
on
2
one hand.
juggling?
Hmm?
Is 2 juggling?
2 is juggling.
Okay.
Jugglers will tell you 2 is
By
juggling.
juggle law,
Mm-hmm.
not to be confused with juggalo.
Yeah, not to be confused
Don't confuse
with us
dude.
juggalos.
Woot woot family.
Mm-hmm. We're not juggalos.
Yet.
Yet.
Season 2, we'll be exploring that for sure.
Uh-huh. There'll be some...
We'll be
growth and
exploring
developing.
a lot of things in season 2, including each other's bodies.
Hi, Mushu. Yeah. So I've gotten through a decent amount of stuff.
You feeling good about your progress?
Yeah.
It's been
I have a ton more I could do. But I want to keep these lovely people here too much longer. Thank you for checking us out. It's looking forward to all sorts of new stuff. You know, between guests, between different crafts, features,
Some interviews.
yeah,
Right, you said
lots of
guests
interviews.
already.
Well, I mean, we could have a guest and they just won't say anything. They could just like their face will be on
Ooh,
the
a
screen.
phantom.
Yeah.
Not of the opera, but of the podcast show.
Phantom of the Stream.
Stream.
We need a loud organ toot there.
Bam.
We'll just play the first note from Phantom of the
Bam,
Opera.
bam, 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 bam.
Trigger all the theater nerds out there. But yeah.
Thank you for joining us and for letting us be in your lives for
Mhm.
the last hour. We have a lot more to share with you all and look forward to doing that hopefully in the near future. And stick around as we develop and find our voices, and hopefully you can come along for the ride and we can all make fun stuff together.
Yep, that's what
Make
we're
it
hoping.
fun, make it easy.
Make some art, paint with
TPP.
friends, total party
Hey!
paint.